If you guys are looking to put on an insane amount of muscle, right, and keep the body fat at 8% or less, and you're not interested in competing, this is one part of my personal method to ensure that you can do that, right? My whole goal is to teach you guys how to basically stay in shape that you so that you look like you're going to do a show, but you're actually not going to do a show because you're not interested in competing. You're just interested in looking like an insane freak. Just maybe not even a freak, right? Maybe just the best version of yourself. Let's say that, right? You want to chase the version of yourself that's 1% better every single day. A long time ago, I thought to be a bodybuilder, like I am in the bottom picture here, I thought you had to just sell your soul. You had to just eat, sleep, breathe bodybuilding. So that's what I did. And now I'm 30. I've competed. I'm actually doing my last show at the very end of the year, and then I'm calling it quits. I'm going to go pro, and then I'm hanging it up. And the reason is just because my passion was always in helping people. And I think I got distracted along the way, and I started focusing on looking cool for people. And I'm kind of ashamed, right? So I want to help and kind of reverse that because a lot of us on social media, and me too, if you look at my Instagram from 2 weeks ago, it was all about me. Look at me. Check me out. Like, I want to go viral. It's about me. And I've changed completely in the last, like I said, about week. And now it's just about giving value because I don't know what it was. Maybe I woke up. I just thought that was kind of disgusting. How gross to just be begging for attention. Why not give to others? Because that's why I got in this. If you guys don't know, and I'm not going to get into the whole story, but a really good friend of mine ended up being my neighbor. I had no idea. I was like 17 when I met Zach, and I think he was like 24. Really big dude, basically, and he showed me the ropes. He taught me everything I knew, and that's why, my whole goal, literally from when I graduated high school and Zach taught me that, was to teach people like Zach taught me. Because Zach didn't just teach me working out, right? Working out taught us discipline, consistency. I showed up every single day to this, training session with him so that I could improve myself. And it was tough, right? And it's like you're eating, and I was eating a diet off bodybuilding.com. Nowadays you guys want to bitch about everything, and it's like, dude, the diet, like the plans as far as like what you do, squat, bench, deadlift, small detail, throw it out. I don't care what anyone says. It's always like people hit me up and they're always like, what's your split? What's your diet? None of that shit matters. Serious. That is like, it's not going to move you that far, right? Because honestly, you can eat very, very cheap. You can eat for like $70 a week by just eating chicken and rice 3 times a day and then some shakes. Now, is it optimal? No. Can it be done? Absolutely. So, my point in saying all this is just, it's not just the diet, it's not just the split. There's things in between the lines that you guys are missing, and I want to show you between the lines from someone that is ahead of you on the path, if that makes sense. I want to shine the light back, and I want to say, hey, take this step, this step, this step, if you want to look like this, but you don't want to get on stage. Okay? Now that we're all caught up, this is just one component, like I said. The entire method I will go over at some point, but I'm basically right now, the loose name is Loadmaster Method, only because, and it'll make sense, when I was flying as a Loadmaster, I would fly 12, 16, 18-hour days, right? And it would be random trips. They could be a week long, it could be 3 weeks long, it could be 3 days. You could do a 3-day trip, take a day off, have a 3-day trip. So you can imagine the schedule is one of the hardest you can even think of in order to prep, right? And I used to have to bring 3 fucking bags with me to prep. But the good thing was we loaded the airplane. So that was good. But I would bring 3 bags, and it was so miserable because I would literally bring this. I had this one stove burner that you could plug into an outlet, put a skillet on, and you could cook. So I would literally meal prep like that. It was insane. The stories I have from that time. I mean, I walked to and from the gym literally 1.5 miles because the crew took the van to go get wasted. And I said, cool, I'm going to take a walk, hit legs, walk home in prep. and stay on my meals. And that's why it's like, if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. But the good news is I have a few things that are going to really, really help you guys with this. What is it? So, this is, like I said, one component of the entire method, but it's super important, and we're going to go over why. This is the next level list, okay? It's derived from something I used to do 5 years ago, and when I stopped doing it, my life got significantly worse, and that is how I know this is a vital piece to the puzzle. For anyone looking to sustain it, right? If you want to get skinny and hop off and then be fat again, don't do this. If you want to spin your wheels and waste your time and be another person, another guy in the gym that literally looks the same as he did 5 years ago, then don't do this. If you want to make a change, and like honestly, a huge change over time by making small changes right now, then you need to watch this. It's not going to be that long, and it's going to change your life. Now, using the power list is how I made every single rank in the military the first time. It's how I won my first bodybuilding show, and it's how I built my physique and my mindset. Now, let me elaborate. Anyone that's been in the military, I went from E1 to E6 in 8 years. Everyone told me it couldn't be done. And that's bullshit. You know what was on, and we'll get into it, it'll make sense later. One of the items on my power list was study 100 questions a day for my E3, E4 test, or E5 test, right? Or for below the zone, if you guys don't know what that is, basically you can try to look like a top performer and get a rank a little bit early in the military. Everybody talks shit on it and says, oh, if you're not a girl, you won't get it. And I said, fucking watch me. I would put stuff on there that mattered, like volunteer work was on my power list, or go to school was on my power list. And I'll show you how this cascades and plays in a role, but that is how I won. That's how I beat everyone. They're at home playing video games. I do one extra task and I look like a genius. This is how people are successful over time, and it doesn't have to like ruin your life. Right? Because this was me in prep up here, that top left in the mirror. That's insane. I was insanely shredded. Like, I felt like I looked crazy, right? Wanted to die. Now, bottom picture, me on stage. I was actually guest posing. I think I was maybe 4 weeks out from a show. I felt great. Not even going to lie. I felt great, and look how insane I looked. Now, imagine looking like that, right? Maybe not as big, but looking like that, right? And not having to dedicate your entire life to the guy that I was talking about on the top left. Funny picture, that's me with a protein shake. I just hit 200 pounds, and I told my girlfriend to take a picture because I thought I was Billy Bob Badass. This one was my first picture ever for my coach. I was so excited. I love bodybuilding so much, or I thought I did. I mean, and I do, like, don't get me wrong, and I had no lats, dude. That's crazy to look at. And now, you know, obviously, I know people are going to say, yes, obviously I use steroids. 100%. I'm a competitive bodybuilder. Like, yeah, I do. But what you don't know is, like, bro, look at my arm naturally. And you can talk shit, but look at my legs naturally. Okay? And not to float my own boat or whatever, or toot my own horn. Those are pretty good genetics, guys. And I just want to tell you that to be honest. Those are good-ass genetics, all right? So if you don't look at that, that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't look insane. What's your version of insane? This isn't a competition between me and you, right? This is a story about I started down here, and I got up here, and I never knew that I could do that, right? I didn't know those were good genetics back then, so it's really irrelevant. Nobody said you have good genetics, you should do this. Nobody, ever, 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 ever. And I'm sure people look at me and think that. So that's just an important thing I want to add there. But that's how powerful it is. Those are the things it's done in my life, all right? Every time someone said, you can't do it, I showed them how I could with this list. Now, how do you use the next level list? What is the next level list? It can be 3 to 5 critical tasks you have to complete every single day. The reason I say 3 is just because when you start this out, it's going to be intense. I think it's better to start at 3. If you can do 3 critical tasks every single day for 100 days, move on to 4. Because this is one of the most challenging, but also one of the most rewarding things you can do, is this list right here. So, what is it? 5 tasks. Could be 3, could be 4, but it has to be 3 to 5, okay? Now, it's got to be something that's difficult, that you don't really want to do, that you have to do to move the ball forward. If there's a conversation you have to have with your wife or your girlfriend, you put it on the list. If you need to get closer to God, you put it on the list. Like, these things that you're kicking the can down the road, you've got to put it on the list. Because like I've even done it where I've gotten so bad before, and this is insane to say, but where like I couldn't get up without like hitting snooze. And that makes me feel like I don't have control of my life, because if you can't get up when the alarm clock goes off, if you can't say no to laying back down, how do you say no to everything else hard that happens? You see what I mean? And so I was getting pissed off at myself because I was sleeping in, and it's like 30 minutes, but fuck that. I don't do that. When the alarm goes off, I get up. I don't care. Okay? It's not even, just to make a point for you guys, I haven't gotten up at 4:30 every day for my entire life, but I am going to now because of the results. But it was a time when I got up at 8 a.m., but the only thing that matters to me is it's all about keeping promises to yourself. When I set the alarm at night at 4:30 for 4:30 a.m., I'm keeping the promise when I get up. And when I get up and I don't keep the promise, it hurts you. It hurts you. This is what you guys need to really listen to. It hurts you. When I say I'm going to make the bed after I get up and I don't, it hurts me. When I say I'm going to eat breakfast because I need to eat more to grow, it hurts me when I don't do it. Okay? All of these things. When you're making tiny little promises and you think, oh, it doesn't matter. Tiny promises, even like if I was sitting here and I was like, okay, at 8 p.m. I'm going to eat. And then I set a little timer at 8 p.m. It goes off. I say I'm going to go eat and I don't. You cannot do that. You're breaking promises with yourself. And after, I know it sounds dumb, but I've done it. I've literally done it. Like 6 weeks ago, I had like no discipline. It's not just hitting the 3 tasks or the 4 tasks. It's also the fact that it compounds. It builds momentum, right? It builds trust in yourself. If I put it on the list, imagine after 100 days of using the list. If I put something really hard on the list that I have to get done that day that I don't want to do, after 100 times of doing hard things on the list, you're just going to get it done. And that's when you trust yourself. That's when you finally say, I got this. And then when things come at you throughout the day, right, like hail hitting a car, you're like, dude, it's cool. I got my 5 things, my 4 things on the list. They're getting done. Now, the things that you don't put on the list, stuff that doesn't matter. And you have to get really good at deciphering what matters and what doesn't. The question I always like to ask myself is, if I do this, will I get closer to my goal, make more money, or have a better relationship? If I can't say yes to something of those categories, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Seriously. I'll leave dishes in the sink before I will not get a work task done. I'll leave dishes in the sink before I don't go to church, right? Because dishes in the sink aren't going to do anything long term. Now, I believe in keeping a tidy house, and I do the dishes as I put them in the sink, so kind of a trick question. But it's just to make a point, guys. The fact is, a lot of times, me included, I've been caught in the trap where you sit and you scroll and you're like, oh, I just want to chill for a sec. And then it's an hour, and then you're like, well, I got to take a shit. And then you're like, well, I got to get a shower. And then you're like, oh, man, it's 7 o'clock. Got to go to bed. Start tomorrow. Don't do that. The first time you hear your voice say start tomorrow, say, fuck you, I'm starting right now. I'm serious. That is so important. And if you do that, the feeling is indescribable. You will feel so powerful. Seriously. When you do something like this, you feel so powerful. Other people, they say, I don't know if I can get it done. Well, I'll try to get my diet. I'll try to do this. They don't actually try for shit. You either do it or you don't. And people that do this list get it done. And that's why we can look like, over here on the right, that's why we can look like this. All right? Because we do that. We do the hard things. But we don't look at it like a punishment, because it's not. We get to wake up and move every day. That's not a punishment. That's survival. Right? You need to drink water because it's the most important. Like, come on, dude. Dehydration is our enemy. And most of us are dehydrated. And then Over here, this is just a couple weeks getting my buddy ready for his wedding, right? He's not, doesn't want to do a show. He doesn't want to compete or anything. He just want to look good for his wedding. Now, I'll tell you for sure, this lighting is way too harsh. I mean, look how bright that is. It's washing it out. It would look a lot better if we got a little bit better of a picture. But I want to throw that up there to show you guys. And this is my guy Daniel right here. Literally gained 20 pounds from essentially spring to summer is what you could say. Right? All natural. Like, say what you want. You know what I taught this kid? I taught him how to train intense. Taught him how to train intense, how to get after it every day. And the kid's an animal. I mean, he just does what he has to do. Every single day, he gets it done. Every single day. And that's why coming back over here, it's kind of like when you're leaving all these little tasks up here, like pay that one bill or register your wife's car or register your motorcycle or whatever. Like when you're thinking those things, right, and you're not acting on them, they accumulate. And it's like invisible weight on your head, on your mind. Like you don't know it, right? We don't understand that it's there, but when you remove it, you feel it, right? It's kind of like when you need glasses, but you don't know it yet, and the doctor puts the glasses on, and you go, oh, I didn't realize I couldn't see. You have to, right? You have to keep your mind clean all the time so you can perform at the highest level, but also so that you can just have calm peace. You know what I mean? That way, because I'm not worried. Again, when you know you can deliver, you're not worried about yourself. Now you're worried about other people. Like, hey, I can deliver, but is the leader that I'm following going to take me where I want to be? Because I know I'll execute. And that's been my story my whole life. Because it's like, oh man, I'm so disciplined. I've heard it since I was 18, since I was like, this guy's 21, but he's 22. But yeah, I mean, I've heard it since then. Like, oh man, like you're so disciplined. You can be too. You can be. I promise. I promise. I promise. You build faith in yourself through something like the Next Level List, which is just a piece of my method, my personal method. And I'm just telling you that, like, just watch. If you just give it a 30-day trial, stack some wins, get some consistency, get some momentum, get at least 10 days of momentum. And if it doesn't work, I'm telling you, DM me and tell me it didn't work. I'll be so shocked. All right? So what's the purpose? Again, we're just going to recap. But basically, build some momentum in your life, and that is literally everything. I mean, when you have momentum, you have consistency. And consistency, guys, is literally the difference between somebody that looks like me and somebody that looks like the guy at your normal 10 gym or your Crunch or whatever your local Globo gym is. That's what they look like. And they always look like that. Why does Bob always look like that? Because Bob only goes 50-50 for 50 fucking years. Okay? Here's what Bob doesn't know that he wish he knew. If you start when you're 23, 25, even 30, right? Even 35, and you take a couple years and you get in shape, right? Now you can get in shape like this relatively quick, but we gotta work on your mind as well so we can keep it. But once you get used to it, once you get in the flow, do you think that I wake up and think, oh, I gotta eat chicken and rice, or oh, my meals, or oh, my cardio? Never. I don't even give a shit. It's just my life. My life is just, I go to the gym like I go to church. You just go, right? You just go. And I know some people are going to be like, well, I don't have time. Well, that's bullshit. Why don't you cancel your Sunday night football game or your 18 fantasy leagues and get off your ass and improve yourself? Because guess what? You are who you hang out with. And if you hang out with losers that don't move their body and don't give a shit about their health, that makes you a loser too. Even if you look like me or Matt or Sam or Daniel, if you hang out with losers, you will be a loser. That's just how it is. Because they drag you out for their events. They drag you out for drinking. And then they make you feel bad when you want to hold your goal higher than their bullshit. Yep. Because they know they should change and they can't. They have no discipline. They have no control. They're living their life on fucking autopilot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be a winner. Be successful. Use the Next Level List. Look like a fucking animal. Train like you love it. And live like it's the only life you have, because it is. All right? And lastly, I just want to say, like, That is it. That is it. The only difference between the average Joe in the gym that doesn't make progress and someone like me, right, that can be you, is just training intense, following a plan, having some sort of method, right, some sort of system in order to take you from A to B, and you'll do it. That's the thing. Everybody in the gym, you might think like, well, they've been here 5 years and they haven't changed because they only go 50%. Everybody. Listen, once you become a high performer and you do something like this list, it's going to be like the Matrix. You're going to be like this. Oh my gosh. I'm in a simulate. I'm in a simulation. There's no way. No one's even trying. You wake up and you look around and you go, I can literally do whatever I want because none of these people seem to give a shit. And trying's not cool. So if I make trying cool, I can be whatever the fuck I want. It's so easy to win, guys. The bar is so low. So I need to see some winners, man, for real, because we got to start giving a fuck. It is cool to try hard at the things that you like. And if people don't like that, fuck them. Serious. Because if you don't take a stand for the things you like and find the friends that like the things you like, you'll have friends, you'll feel surrounded, but then one day they're going to get married or the relationship will wither and you're going to be by yourself again up here between your ears. And you're going to realize you threw away 10, 12 years fucking off, drinking beer, partying, right? When you could have been gaining skills and making more money and having better relationships and finding the people in your life that like what you like and being that person, right? We all have two paths. The person we should be and the person that we become, right? And the trick is getting those to align. And the next level list helps you do that. And it's absolutely vital in looking like you're ready for the stage and not getting on the stage if that's what you want. All right, guys? So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. And like I said, we're going to keep doing more. I'm going to talk about the Loadmaster method. Don't quote me on the name because I'm not sure about the name. The method is solid. It's everything I used when I was traveling over here on these pictures, the C-130, when I was traveling, to do a bodybuilding show while I traveled. And I've done it with dining facility food. I've done it deployed. I mean, you name it, I've done it. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If this video gave you some value, please drop a like. And if you know a buddy, a brother, somebody that could use this information, please share it because this is the whole point, man. We're all here to just listen. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't ask bigger guys in the gym about training anymore. And I really want to give back to the community like Zach did to me. And this is the way that I can do it. So if you could please share it with somebody that needs help, I would love it. Because let's be fucking honest. The bodybuilders out there are not putting out content to help you guys. They're putting out content that's copy-pasted, it's copy-pasta bullshit, right? That they're using over and over and over. And it's just use my code. Just support me while I bodybuild and I'm giving you nothing. And they act like they're giving value. And I'm not trying to shit on them because I was them. I'm just saying I've opened my eyes. I want to give you guys value. If there's anything that you're not sure of, put it in the comments. I want to give you guys true value. Please let me know what you think of the video. I'm excited to go on this journey with you guys and making all these new videos. I'm having such a fun time. Please share it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.